Okay, what do we have over here?
This is our entry-level lineup. We've called it Caruso. It basically consists of two different and very distinct devices. One is the Caruso. It was first introduced in 2007 and received a major revision in early 2020, shortly before the pandemic hit. The Caruso has everything in it you might want. So it has a streaming client, it has a CD transport, but it's also got the amplifier and the speakers already built in. So if you're looking for an all-in-one system, that's really the place to go. But also we've had many customers who liked the basic idea of the Caruso, but asked for a stereo system, not an all-in-one. And that's where the Caruso R comes in, which came to market about a year later. The Caruso R has the basic functionality of the Caruso, but without the amplifier and the speakers built in. So to match the Caruso R with speakers, we came up with two sets of speakers. You can see the Caruso S10 floor-standing speakers over here.
Okay.
They're matched
Beautiful.
to the sound signature and also the design. Thanks for pointing that out. We really took pains to make it look very similar. And we've also got a smaller form factor version of that so that you can really mix it and pick the product size you like.
Perfect.
Good.
Good. Well, let's move on to another part of your lineup, okay?
Okay.
It's brand new. It's our 200 series. It has been developed last year and we introduced it beginning of this year, and the Axpona is now the first show that we presented to the public. The design is unique, the form factor is special as well. It's not the size of a normal HiFi system, but it's something very important. We tried to put the best kind of electronics into a very small and nice cabinet design. If you look at the DAC 200, which is a pre-amplifier DAC of highest quality, you will not expect that this is one of the best performing DACs in the world. We come out with a rate of DSD 1024 or PCM 786. This small amplifier is capable of doing more than 220 watts per channel.
Very impressive.
And of course the line is complete with a very good streamer and multimedia player. It does not only have high quality streaming capabilities, it has a CD transport and even an FM DAB tuner inside.
Okay.
So that you have the ideal digital source for all demands whichever can come. I forgot to mention the DAC 200 has of course analog inputs, so turntable and analog sources are welcome as well.
Super.
Good. This line was already designed in principle in 1993. The R series is famous and stands for T+A in general in Germany. Form factor is classical, slim, clear design.
Beautiful.
It's Bauhaus style. And even the newest version is very similar to the one which we have started more than, or nearly 30 years ago. The design is very clean, but for us it means that the technical advantages inside are the best we can put into a cabinet. So we have streaming capabilities of highest quality in our multimedia players, like the MP2000. It does not only have a very high quality CD transport, but as well streaming client, FM DAB plus tuner, digital inputs so that you can connect any kind of digital device to this unit. And of course the power amplifier is made of discrete construction, as you can see. That means we have a very high quality sound level and we have a very high output power of more than 250 watts per channel.
That'll drive most any speaker.
Nearly every kind of speaker, and as you can see, a lot of connectivity possibilities, so that it's really the heart of an entire high-end HiFi system.
Great.
Good.
Good. How about over here?
Perhaps, or shall
Okay,
we
okay,
add
good.
something to the turntable?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's known in our audio business that turntables are very successful in the last years. I'm very happy about that.
Yes, me too.
Because I'm using turntables all the time. I still have a collection of very, very nice LPs, yeah, from the 70s. And today we see that even young people come up again, like to have good turntables and like to have as well very good pickup systems, so that the sound quality even improves compared to the times 30 or 40 years ago. We have this turntable in our product range from the beginning, and it's for many customers, I think more than 40% a key product which they like to buy and purchase to the R system.
Arm is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a special version of a tone arm, and it works perfectly together with our T+A cartridge.
Great.
Yeah, now we are standing in front of our top line, HV series. I think this is the line which is most famous in the United States, and the reason
that.
is it's massive.
Yes. Look at that.
And okay, what has such a big aluminium block to do with sound quality? It has,
It does.
because it's always good for a hi-fi system or for a high-end system to be as quiet and stable as possible. And the construction principle of this HV line is that we did not care about size of the cabinet, and we did not take care about costs for such a unit. I mentioned the 200 line before as an extremely small and nice unit. This restricts the designer,
Yes.
because we have limited space. That means we have problems getting the heat away, we have problems getting enough parts and components in, but the HV series is free. So we made a design which is extremely mechanically robust. That means such a power amplifier, integrated amplifier like this one, comes easily to 42 kilograms. The advantage is that it's absolutely quiet. Nothing can move, and nothing can
Vibrate.
nothing can move, nothing can vibrate, and we have no mechanical influences on the system. The construction is very consequent, separated left and right channel, as you can see here. We have only discrete construction, and the name of this line is HV. HV means high voltage.
Got it.
The idea behind high voltage was to get a behavior, a sound behavior like a valve, but not having the disadvantages of valves, like altering, like changing parameters and things like that. So the construction of the HV series is in principle discrete, which means we can use components, transistors, capacitors, which can stand extremely high voltages. So, for example, in the output stage of the amplifiers, we have voltages up to 300 volts, and in the input stages, still up to 80 volts. That means in all parts of the amplification, we have very linear amplification curves, which means no distortions, which means only very little feedback. So the sound quality is determined by the quality of the amplification. And that's the idea behind the HV series. We use this principle in all stages. Not only in our amplifiers, but as well in our music players or multimedia players. All amplification stages are working in the HV principle.
We heard this at the Capitol Audio Fest.
Yeah.
Yes, it was sounding beautiful.
And it's really the advantage of this technology. It's the problem is it generates a lot of heat, but we have relatively big cabinets. We use massive aluminium parts, so we have good ducts for heats, so that the cabinet itself gets warm and dissipates the heat. And we can separate, as the cabinet is big enough, all compartments, that means digital compartment, analog compartment, are separated by massive aluminium plates, so we have no interference or disturbances between the different digital and analog parts. We even have separate compartments for the digital and for the analog power supplies.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, very, very impressive. Again, viewers, I heard this line at the end of last year, and it was huge soundstage, extremely tight bass, fantastic macro and micro dynamics, just outstanding reproduction of music. It brought music to my ears.
Thank you. May I perhaps introduce our latest development in the program range, which has nothing to do with electronics, but depends on our electronics.
Let's do that.
As my dad just said, welcome to the very latest addition to T+A's product range, and that is headphones. We started developing them sometime in 2019 because we saw that young people don't necessarily trade up with better speakers, but actually buying better headphones. And that was very interesting to us to get into. And we've introduced two pairs of headphones thus far. One is the Solitaire P, introduced weeks before the COVID pandemic in March of 2020. It's a planar magnetostatic headphone, so it's driven by a magnet structure that moves a diaphragm.
Yeah, they can sound so clear and open and realistic.
It's great. It's almost like an electrostatic
Yeah.
system without actually needing the power supply. And next to the Solitaire P, we've got the Solitaire PSE. It's the same basic idea, but a few differences. The most obvious one is the material. That's a high quality composite. And we've also changed the coating of the driver. So that's copper instead of aluminum, which is the driver of the Solitaire P.
Well, there you go.
And all of them, of course, go very well with our own HA200, which was developed at the same time as the Solitaire P, because we did not only want to make one headphone, but also a dedicated headphone amp, which can power 3 headphones. And you can also adjust the impedance of each headphone output so that you can really find the optimal impedance for your headphone.
Well, great. Thank you very much. Can we fire up the big system and listen to some music, please?
Sure, love to.
Okay,
Let's
let's
go.
do that next. Yeah.
Ja twój sługa, ja twój robotnik.
Kraftwerk with T plus A. German band, German company. Extremely dynamic system. The amplifier has such great damping factor, it has a totally tight handshake on the loudspeakers. So what you're hearing is what's on the recording. It's a fantastic microdynamics, great macrodynamics, huge soundstage and impact. This is their middle of the line system, folks. So T plus A, you are the cat's meow. Thank you very much for inviting us in.